Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Art Gallery of Ontario for the performance of Matthew's Blue with the Little Pear Garden Dance Company. My name is Audrey Hudson, and I'm the Richard and Elizabeth Curry Chief of Education and Programming here at the AGO. And first, I will start with the land acknowledgement. So, the Art Gallery of Ontario operates on land that is Michi-Sagig Anishinaabe territory. Toronto is governed by Treaty 13 between the Mississauga of the Credit and the Canadian government. It has also been occupied by other Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and Wendat confederacies. Since 1701, Toronto is governed by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty between the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. Toronto is home to a large, diverse group of urban Indigenous communities and always has been a trading center for First Nations communities. All people living in Canada are treaty people, including those who came here as settlers, either in this generation or generations past, and those who are arrivants, those who came involuntarily, particularly as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. As treaty people, we are all here and part of this treaty relationship based on the recognition of respect, cooperation, partnership, and Indigenous rights. Thank you. So, welcome today, and I am joined here with Emily Cheung from the Little Pear Garden Dance Company. Hello, Emily.
Hi, Audrey. How are
Mm,
you?
good, good.
Good to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Good. It's great to have you. It's great to have you. I will contextualize a tiny bit, and then I'll ask you a few questions about this stunning performance. So, just as a preface to all of you in the audience, this performance, Matthew's Blue, is a tribute to the artistry of Chinese Canadian painter Matthew Wong. And it was recorded and performed inside the solo exhibition that he had at the AGO. And the exhibition was Matthew Wong Blue View. So we will share a brief contextualization of the performance and then we can view it together. And this performance, as a note, is actually a site specific, so it was filmed right in the exhibition. It was conceived by acclaimed choreographer Emily Cheung and features the original music and performed by cellist Tony KT Leung and it's danced by Zachary Caldwell. All right, Emily. So I want to give the audience a little bit of an introspective of how this came about for you. This partnership between Little Pear Garden and the AGO came about. I want to say, is it about a year and a half ago that we start initiated these conversations, and finally it has bloomed into this to this stunning piece that we have to share. Could you contextualize a little bit for our audiences the piece? Maybe your inspiration and concept behind what you created.
Absolutely, Audrey. Well, yes, you're right. We've started this project or conversation during the pandemic, and it has truly bloomed and blossomed. And I'm ever so happy. And I want to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank the AGO for working with Little Pear. You have a tremendous, most talented group and very full of energy and very supportive. This piece that I have choreographed called Matthew's Blue really touched me on a very personal sort of personal experience. First of all, myself as also being born in Hong Kong, and also immigrated to Canada when I was 9 years old, a long time ago. I felt his work really resonates with the city and also the outskirt as well, like a lot of landscape. And with his most of his time traveling, towards the cities and also countryside, really makes me feel like there is sort of like something that really resonates with me as well. His background is very similar to mine. He also, I can tell he's really passionate, and the love of his art really speaks to me on a very personal level. And the reason why I chose, Zachary, our beautiful artist, to dance is because he's not only a skilled and talented artist, but his way of dancing, which utilize ballet, so in the Western world, and also he's been also trained a bit by me. The Chinese dance aspect really speaks all together. as a whole as who I am as a Chinese Canadian artist. And I thought this will work really well, on Matthew's Blue choreography. And this choreography has been broken down into three different sections. And we are very thrilled to be working in all three of these rooms for each series. And the first series that we want to concentrate on is how, as someone who is the third person, taking a look inside Matthew's life. So I did a lot of research on him, even though I don't know him, but I did a lot of studies based on his painting and also information given and as a third person. So the first piece had to do with how I kind of perceive this whole idea of looking into an artist's life, someone who is, kind of suffering, but at the same time going through, trauma. And then the second series had to do with, inside this chaotic world that we're living, um, the struggle that an artist will have to face. And there's a lot of repetition in the second series where we were really lucky to be utilizing the biggest room. So we had, dancers running around and, utilizing site specifically, even on the bench that the AGO has
Right.
beautifully put. And so that to me is like the climax, like the main portion of the creativity. And then we end again with sort of like a sort of solitude, where I find in most of Matthew's painting very quiet, peaceful, and that's where he finds himself. It's inside those paintings. So I want to draw in a very kind of calm, collective, and a happy note that, this is where he sort of see himself and where he belongs. So, as a result, this is the entire piece.
All right. So if there's nothing else, we can. I'm so excited that to get into the to share the piece with our audiences. So I will say thank you so much to you, Emily, to Victor, to Little Pear Garden Dance Company for working with us at the AGO. Thank you, audiences, for joining us today, and enjoy the performance. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.